Hello everybody, thank you for joining us today on the update session for the latest release of ShipIT 365. My name is Ruben Schuster, I'm the product owner and developer of ShipIT 365, and today we are discussing the new latest updates from the release wave from 2024 quarterly 2. Again, thanks for joining us today. If you have any questions during this session, please put them in the questions tab and I will discuss them at the end of the session. Before I start with the formal presentation, I would like to make this statement based on previous experiences. Before we delve deeper into the new developments, we would like to clearly state once again that it is extremely important that you test our software with the latest version. Testing is even more important if you have integrated services such as TaskLed or customizations installed in custom environment. Also, please align with your customers that they do not update apps independently without first informing you as a VAR. Okay, sorry, that's the formal part, but now let's start with the actual updates of the solution. So in the latest release, we mainly did two important things for ShipIT. We have done performance improvements in general, especially when you are working with warehouse shipments and warehouse handling in general in your solution, combined with optionally TaskLed, but especially with ShipIT 365. And also quite exciting is the change we have done for SendCloud, because we can now print SendCloud labels using integration service which is called PrintNote. I will show you that live a bit later, but it means that you can now send your the PDF labels that are provided by SendCloud can now be printed to labels during the process of creating booking shipments and printing them. So let's first start with the performance part. We have done, based on the telemetry that we've got, we have done some testing of the shipment posting routines, made quite some improvements there so that there is less locking, shorter locking, and also a better sequence in the locks that they occur in. And we have added one additional option for you as a user to have higher control, but this is really if you're doing high volumes and you're afraid of getting locks on table level, then you can now choose to skip the updating of source documents after posting transport orders. What that means is that basically the track and trace information, but also the actually executing shipping agent code doesn't get updated on the source document, neither the posted or the unposted ones, during the booking of the transport order. A bit later, when we synchronize transport orders for status updates, so there's a manual action there, but that can also be scheduled using the background session. Nevertheless, the source documents are still updated. So it still happens, but it happens a bit later. So it could be that initially you do not have the track and trace information on, for example, the posted sales shipment, if you enable this feature. However, when you then synchronize it again to check the status or before it is really fulfilled, you will still get these updates on the source documents. As I said, it's mainly for performance purposes, so we do not recommend you to enable it by default. If you encounter locking, especially in the warehouse processing, and you see that the locks are coming from source documents or can be originated by locks on that table, then you might consider to update this. This was the default behavior when you were basing your transport orders on posted documents. Then source documents would not be updated. However, if you were basing your transport orders on unposted documents, then this was updated already. And also based on the upgrade script is looking at the the settings that are in the customer environment and respects that, so it doesn't change if you update to this version, but you now have control to change that default behavior. A second option that we have added, especially in the Tasklet integration app, is the option to continue when the posting of transport order fails. It's not necessarily a performance update, but we had a couple of customers that even though the label wasn't printed and the address, for instance, on the labels was wrong, they still wanted to be able to post the warehouse shipments to be able, of course, to continue the warehouse processing. And then we will deal with the missing labels later and afterwards. And that is now enabled with this option. So again, by default, it is not recommended, but it could be that for certain processes, this is an optimization that you can do. Then, as I said, we now have the option to also print SendCloud labels. So when you book a shipment with SendCloud, you get a label back, always in a PDF format. And we have now a print note integration that allows you to actually send those PDF labels directly to a printer. So you can also call it a cloud printing solution if you want. And for this, I will show you how you can do the setup for it, which is quite simple. And then I will show you the result as well. So let's move to the application. Quickly refresh the session. It's taking a bit longer than expected, so bear with me please, but it should be ready soon. All right. Okay, there it is. So because it was taking so long, I was also working on a second session. So to avoid further delays, I will move to this first. So over here you have the setup. As I said, it's a SendCloud feature. So on the setup card, provide a setup card for SendCloud. You can set up a printnote API key. This is something you can easily get from the printnote application. In the release notes, there's a link to a page where we explain how to set up the solution entirely. But it basically comes down to creating an account in the printnote. There you create an API key that you can link. Then you can enable printed printing inside the SendCloud setup. And then over here you have related printed printers. And here you can see the printers that I've created on my local device over here. And then you can set up printed user printers, and then for each user you can say which of the printers that are installed that you want to use, so the ones that are installed in your account. So as I said, at the moment SendCloud provides us with labels in PDF format, so I have selected my own Microsoft PDF printer and I made that the default one. And that's the whole setup part. So as soon as I now do a post and print on a transport order that is coming from SendCloud, it will give me the opportunity to print that label. And as I said, at the moment I have a PDF printer, so it will give me a prompt to save the file, but of course you can always send it to an actual printer and just print. Or also there are some printers that are still saving files, but then to designated folders. All right, there we go. So back to my sales order. Here I've prepared the sales order, and as you can see, I'm using SendCloud with an unsent service on it. I have 3 pieces to send. So I can now create my transport order. I will open that. Okay. I will first select a package. I'll use a Boxer 1. To be 100% sure about pricing and the right updates, I'm using a carrier select, but that should be non-mandatory in this case. Okay, and I will choose book and print. And now the main change is that it gives me the opportunity to store a PDF file, which is the label. Save, override my previous example. And if I now open that one, you will see that it printed a PDF file. But again, this normally goes to an actual printer, and then I would have my labels printed when I book my ShipIT with SendCloud. So that's about the print note integration for SendCloud. All right, back to the presentation. Yeah, that immediately brings me to the end of the session as well. So I will also take a look now in the questions tab to see if there are any questions. There seems to be one question. I will read that. In the mobile WMS with the new feature continue after transferred order fails, it is possible to get a message. Oh, is it possible to get a message on the mobile while posting the shipment from a tasklet scanner? Yeah. The thing is that as soon the only way to do UI in the scanner is by giving errors. And as you probably know, giving errors would reverse the whole process, and that's not what we want in this case, because again, we want the shipment to be posted, because otherwise the warehouse user gets stuck. So we are definitely investigating this because we know what has gone wrong, but it's hard to present it on the scanner. So we're looking into ways of still showing a message without giving an error that would reverse the whole process again. But at least so that the warehouse user knows what is wrong, because I understand the underlying issue there. All right. I don't see any further questions, so I will continue. Oh. So later today, my colleagues will also talk more about the updates about Connected 365 and Approval 365. If you want to join any of those sessions and you don't have a registration yet, you can still register using our website. You can go to our website and click on News. Okay. I think we can end this session for now. I hope that I see you next time. Have a great day and bye-bye.